Today, we're going to make the famous holographic chocolate. There are a lot of people sending us videos of some folks making a chocolate they call holographic. It's a chocolate that has a very beautiful, colorful shine, similar to that rainbow shine we see when we look at a CD. And people want to know, can we eat this chocolate? Does it have glitter? Does it have plastic? Is it like a film that goes on top? Does this really exist? So to test it, we ordered a little mold online, and we're going to see if this thing works or not. So here it is. We bought the special silicone mold for the so-called holographic chocolate, and we're going to test three things. First, if we can actually make a holographic chocolate, if we can make this so-called shiny chocolate. Second, if this isn't dangerous, if there's nothing toxic left in the chocolate. And third, we suspect that it's possible to do this with things other than chocolate. But to start with, let's take a look at this mold here. It already has a holographic bottom. It's not very easy to see, but let's try to see it here. With a cell phone light on top. Now you can see it. There's a rainbow coming out from the middle of the mold. Look, it's really pretty. You can see the colors spreading here. It's very clear that something special is happening here. So, do you think this is a paint that's going to come off the top? Shall we melt some chocolate on top here to test it? I'm going to melt the chocolate here in a double boiler. The idea is to melt the chocolate at 45 degrees and then keep adding cold chocolate until it drops to 31 and then pour it into the mold. It's hard to control the temperature this way, right? It's going down. I keep wondering if people who make Easter eggs also control the chocolate temperature like this. What I'm doing here is tempering the chocolate. And to understand why it's necessary to temper chocolate, who is our chemistry intern and produced this video, did all the research and will explain it to us. Come here, Julia.
So tempering chocolate might sound a bit strange, but the act of tempering chocolate isn't about adding any salt or a little pepper. That's not it. Tempered chocolate is chocolate whose cocoa butter has been pre-crystallized. Chocolate, when it's solid, when it's that bar we eat, it's a crystallized form of chocolate. So when we heat this chocolate a little more slowly and cool it a little more slowly, we can crystallize it, meaning we make the cocoa butter molecules become more organized in a more controlled way. And then, in the end, the chocolate becomes shinier. It gets more glossy and it breaks in a more pleasant way, you know? That snap when it breaks.
So if we don't temper the chocolate, we'll end up with a sticky chocolate.
Waitish.
It won't have a nice texture. Exactly. So people who make decent Easter eggs will probably temper the chocolate.
For sure, it's a lot of work.
See, if you've ever made an Easter egg, comment about your experience tempering chocolate, since I found it difficult. Shall we take this to the fridge? It smells good. Oh, it gives me butterflies, and I'm afraid the water will condense on top of the chocolate and ruin it, because it'll end up with a bunch of droplets. So I already have my phone here next to me so I can record as quickly as possible. It smells delicious. You really have to use a lot of imagination, right, to see if the holographic effect works. There's a lot of optimism about the holographic here. So,
Look, when you do this, see, you lower it, see.
Tarek, I'll show everyone now. Look over there. Oh, the chocolate is shining, it's shining. Did it take a little imagination? Did it need special lighting? It did. Now you can see the chocolate rainbow colors. Let's check if it looks better with a flashlight. Here, it doesn't help at all. Over there, look. How about the holographic one? Okay, we can see the colors of the rainbow here. Now, do you need a little imagination for that to happen? Yes, you do. It's not that easy. When you look at it, it already shines like a rainbow. You have to look from a very special angle. There. And little by little, the water started to condense on top of the chocolate and disappeared. So it works. The question is the chocolate contaminated? Let's try a piece to see if it tastes different. Julia, you could get contaminated here, too. The tempering of this chocolate. Really? It's the same. It tastes like chocolate. At least the chocolate wasn't ruined. I thought it was fine. Nothing changed. Trying it out, how? Good, good. tried it. If this mold doesn't leave any ink, doesn't leave any residue, how does it make this rainbow color on the chocolate? If we could look with a super microscope, both the mold and the CD, we'd see that they have a tiny little groove, but it's a really tiny little groove. The distance between one little point and another would be about 3 micrometers. A micrometer is a millimeter divided by 1,000. So I don't know, a watermelon seed, for example, would be about 15,000 micrometers, just so you have an idea. That's much smaller than a strand of hair, which would be about 60 to 140 micrometers. So what happens with the light? The white light arrives here. You know that white light is made up of different colors of light. And when it hits these little grooves, it breaks apart. So we start to see the colors of the rainbow coming out from here. This phenomenon, which is similar to a prism, is called diffraction in physics. The trick with the mold is that this texture is on its bottom. And when you melt the chocolate on top, guess what happens? These grooves transfer to the chocolate D. And then the chocolate itself starts causing diffraction, breaking up the light when light hits it. That's why you can kind of turn the chocolate into a sort of prism, just like that, without any kind of paint. Why does the CD have this effect too? Because the information inside the CD is also stored in very fine grooves that either reflect or don't reflect the light. That's how we get the information. And that's why it shines like that. And we find this phenomenon in many places in nature. For example, that super famous blue butterfly, Morpho. Actually, it's not blue if you look really closely. What it has is more or less like this, but only the blue color ends up being reflected out. And that's why we see blue. Some insects are also colorful because of this, like the dragonfly. And this also happens on the peacock's leg. A moment ago, I said that if we looked with a really powerful microscope, we could see it. But is it possible to see it with our own microscope? Ah, here are the little grooves. It looks like a fingerprint. This is absolutely impossible to see with the naked eye. There's no way we can see this with the naked eye. Exactly what I drew here, a bunch of little holes. Let's check if we can see the one on the CD. To reach the small grooves, we need to remove the top paint layer. So I'm going to put some transparent tape, some scotch tape, and then cut an edge with a utility knife and pull it off. Cool, right? This paint is probably shining for the same reason as the chocolate. It picked up the texture of the grooves that were underneath. By the way, in physics, we call these grooves a diffraction grating. I can't do it like this. Let's try a slightly more radical way without removing the paint on top. It's not easy to see. I found it. You can see a bunch of little dots, right? With some little lines like this. If you pay attention to these dots, they're really well aligned, right? They follow a pattern. These little dots are micro mirrors inside there. And when you shine the laser, they either reflect or they don't. And whether they reflect or not is the information. It's just like a computer, where information is stored as 0 and 1. Whether it reflects or not is 0 or 1. But let's go to our last question. The secret is the microscopic texture. This theoretically means that anything liquid that we pour on top here, which will later harden, theoretically, this thing takes on the shape of these micro grooves and will show some kind of diffraction. It'll shine like a CD, right? And furthermore, if the CD also has this texture, it means that if we put things on top of the CD, those things can take on the CD shine, all theoretically, right? That's what we're going to see in practice now. The easiest thing we have here is paraffin. Let's melt a candle on top of the CD and see if it picks up that diffraction grating. If the candle picks it up, right? If the paraffin picks up this shine, and we do the same with the chocolate mold, we might decide it was better to make the chocolate on the CD. Anyway, while the hot glue heats, there's a piece of red paraffin here. I don't know where it came from, and I don't think it's really paraffin. It's crayon mixed with paraffin. I'll melt it on top. Let's try it with the blue candle.
1, 2, 3, go!
Julia keeps insisting here that she wants me to make the caramel. The caramel is that bottle we broke on someone's head that one time. So it's not exactly caramel, right? It's like fake glass. She promised I could leave it on the stove and she'd handle it. Let's start the recipe here. Look how thick this is. It's incredibly viscous. 3 days later. Do you want to heat this up in the microwave?
Oh, hey, it's hot, guy. Hey?
Oh.
Hey, we heat it up until it started sticking to the bottom. Then the caramel is ready. Beautiful. My idea was to make a whole holographic caramel bar. Beautiful.
I'm gonna have to take this thing out. I'm not gonna show the result yet. Let's put it away here. Let's keep it somewhere clean, which is a bit hard to find around here. Wow, the hot glue doesn't come off. It's stuck to the plastic. It won't come off, it won't come off. There's no way to get it out of here. It's better to give it a real wash, right?
So we gave the mold a wash. We're trying to dry it carefully here so that no bits of paper get stuck in the grooves of the mold. With caramel, there can't be any water here. I was given the task of putting the caramel here in the mold, and I'm going to make a really thin layer. Let's see if it works. I'll put a little on the CD too, so we can make that comparison. Now, I'm going to put it in the fridge and wait for it to dry.
Let's see if Julia's caramel is holographic or not. She can't handle the anticipation. Come here, come here, come here.
I was watching from afar like this.
Not to brag or anything, but
Look at this.
how beautiful. No, it's perfect. This one was made on the CD. It's insanely holographic. Now, this one was made in the mold. It's just as holographic as the chocolate.
We found the problem.
It's more holographic than the chocolate. Look. It's 10% of what the CD one is, and the other things. Here, look. Let's try the paraffin. This paraffin here. You really have to try hard to find the U.
I think this one is actually hot glue.
Ah, this is hot glue. Hot glue didn't work. This one is from the CD.
You can see a
You can see a...
glimpse. Look at the floor.
it's like this. Look. Beautiful. Wow. The CD one is very good. Now, the chocolate one, I wouldn't bet on that.
You can see a little bit. I don't know if it's a reflection now.
It takes a lot of effort for me to see this.
This is the paraffin.
You don't need much effort. Let's check the CD one. Look how beautiful it is.
You can see this one well.
And now, this blue one from the CD. Check this out. Cool, huh? Cool. And this one is the chocolate one. No. Stop, 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 stop. When Julia explained about tempered chocolate, it was supposed to make a kind of click against your teeth, right? And when Jean tried it, it was like a soft chocolate jelly that wasn't fun at all. So that no one could blame our tempering, we bought another chocolate. Let's try again with this chocolate here. Look, it's a special chocolate that doesn't need tempering, and at the same time, it's also not really chocolate. It's chocolate flavored. But we think its texture will be much better because it should be a chocolate that gets more rigid, that holds up better at room temperature, and so on. At the same time, an order arrived here that we had placed a while ago of some molds that are quite different from the one we tested. They already have a stronger texture and such with different designs. Let's see if it works this time.
So we took it out of the fridge, let it come to room temperature, and now we're going to see if this thing works or not.
Do you think it will work?
I'm betting on it. What's your bet? I bet it works, at least these new molds.
Do you think this one will work well?
This one has already disappointed me a lot.
I have no hope for this one anymore. Should we remove this one first? Its consistency is different. Look, it's sticking.
This one is going to make that click sound. It's shiny, but...
As always, you have to use a little imagination to see it. You can see it, come on. You can see it. Oh no!
It's okay. It's okay. Wow. Oh, no.
Oh my god!
No. It has nothing to do.
It's a totally perfect comparison.
Now you can really see the shine. No complaints. This chocolate likely isn't as tasty as the other one.
Oh, definitely not.
I'm sure it didn't. But, like, its consistency is...
You can see clear.
Okay. It worked. Holographic chocolate worked. Even with a bad mold.
With a mold now?
My expectations got better compared to the others, man. I think those others must be, like, a light show. No. Oh, man. Wow.
Wow!
Damn. Wow.
Nice.
That's it.
Holographic chalk.
That's it. It's a holographic chocolate. Wow. How beautiful. This time the chocolate turned out even prettier than the mold. If this doesn't deserve a thumbs up, I don't know what does. It's really cool. Let's open another one. Wow.
This one turned out...
Wow. No, it's stunning. Now it's clear that we really had to be pretty generous to make out those details before.
I think this mold has smaller flaws than the other one. That's why it's better. Yeah,
Do you think so?
that's my guess.
Oh, very nice. This is one of the easiest ones to see. It looks like it has a glassy layer, right?
Yeah, it really does look like it forms a film, like the tempered one. This coating is different. That's what I tested with the wax.
This is one of the prettiest, right? They're all beautiful. Each of these little coaster molds is more beautiful than the last. We did it.
Now we did it.
Mission accomplished.
That's a Manuel du Monde-worthy result. We did it. Because that other one just wouldn't do.
No, not that one. With the black molds, it looked really beautiful, but we have some sad news.
Yeah, these molds actually aren't regular molds. They're coaster molds. So they're made for resin, not for edible things.
So, we don't know. Probably not a food-grade silicone. It might not be very clean. I don't know what's in here. You can't eat this chocolate we made in these molds. In this mold, you can, but at the same time, it's much worse than the others. And there's one more thing. We bought this mold in Brazil because it's the only one we found to buy in Brazil. But we also placed an order from abroad. And after we had already recorded the video, the mold from abroad arrived, and
Prepare to be surprised by the result.
look, it's much worse than the other one. There's no holographic effect here at all. Nothing.
Not even if you try really hard.
It doesn't look holographic. You can't see anything at all. So if you're going to buy it, be careful. Read the comments and reviews, because we bought a bad one. And the other one was even worse. Conclusions from this video. First, with that chocolate that Julia made and tempered, it didn't work. It didn't turn out well. It was really bad.
But with the chocolate flavored coating, it works well for us.
Second conclusion is that this is a microscopic effect. There's no paint, nothing like that. You can eat the chocolate, and there won't be any problem.
It's just that we use the CD, but it's not because we use the CD that it's edible. So you need to use a mold for it.
Be careful. Don't use that coaster either. And third, yes, it works with anything that's liquid, and then solidifies on top of the mesh, like paraffin, or that awesome caramel that Julia made.
Really good, man.
Yeah, it was much better than the chocolate.
I mentioned before that tempered chocolate snaps. I want to check if this one does too. Let's see. Bye.
It did.
If you compare this to us eating the other one, you'll see the other one is melting. You couldn't eat it.
You're eating the one that's in the silicone mold, right? Is this chocolate good? This one is okay.
No.
No.
Bad. No. Another really cool chocolate video. I consider the best one we've ever recorded on this topic to be our perfect chocolate ball. I don't know if I tempered it right, but I made the chocolate from scratch. Starting from the cocoa bean, and it turned out really good. A top-notch chocolate.